All right, with the blessing of the membership of the Greenwood County Democratic Party, I do hereby declare the February breakfast meeting called to order. Welcome everybody to a beautifully sunny yet a little chilly morning. I am so glad everybody could make it. Before we begin with our proceedings, if I could ask everybody to please rise and let us say our Pledge of Allegiance, and as is tradition every month, please place special emphasis on the final two words of our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Please be seated. I would also like to take a couple of seconds for a moment of silence, a chance to center our minds, reflect on the past month, offer our wishes and prayers to those who are in need, and also to express our gratitude for the things that have gone very well in our lives. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. All right, I would first, before we do our welcomes, I want to issue a couple of thank yous. First, thank you to the Morris Chapel Baptist Church and to Bishop Oliver McCrae for the offering of this wonderful facility for us to hold our meetings. It's been a very good home for us these past few months and hopefully for months to continue. So we thank them. We thank Clara, who woke up at 7:30 in the morning to open this facility up for us, to allow us to set up. She'll be back. She's at her grandson's basketball game at the moment, but she'll be back. Want to thank our breakfast club, the ladies and gentlemen who set up in this morning, who brought the food, the breakfast sandwiches, the donuts, the juices, and set up the coffee. Thank you very much for giving us a great way to celebrate this morning. We couldn't do it without you. I would also like to open up by welcoming those who have come in from out of town, who are not from Greenwood. Please raise your hand if you traveled to get here. Look at that. I've met members who came from, let's see, who's the furthest one? Lawrence, I see, came. Abbeville, Calhoun Falls arrived. Woohoo! But who here traveled the furthest? Raise your hand. I believe that honor goes to Catherine Fleming Bruce, who came in from Columbia. She woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to make it out here today. So thank you for making that trip. I rolled out of bed and moved a mile down the road to get here. So I appreciate those who came in from out of town. We also appreciate all of those who have served in our military. We appreciate those who are elected officials who serve in our local offices. We appreciate everything you've done. We appreciate the first responders and the law enforcement, the people who make our communities run. So a big gratitude to you. For those of you who are new to this, I want to point out the bathrooms are over here to my left. That's very important to know. The food is over here to my right, equally important. But make sure you make a stop at the materials table next to President Obama, who graces our breakfast meeting every month. Lots of good information there, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Finally, I want to issue a warm welcome to anybody for whom this is your first time joining us here at a Greenwood County Democratic Party breakfast meeting. Raise your hand if this is your first. Raise it proudly. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And I hope this won't be your last. I really do hope you have a good time here. Anybody who sees the new people who joined up, make sure you issue them a warm welcome. Say hi. We're a very friendly group here with the Greenwood County Democrats. So here's our agenda today. We've got probably one of the most powerful list of speakers we've been able to muster here in the years that I've been chair. So I'm going to issue some opening comments and some news, and I'm going to keep it brief. Then we have Catherine Fleming Bruce, who is coming from Columbia. She announced that she is running for U.S. Senate to take on Senator Tim Scott. She has a very storied history. She actually snuck in and joined us for our December breakfast just to get a taste of what we're all about. And I'd like to think that we convinced her to run. So we're going to hear her story in a few minutes. Mandy Wilkes Lloyd, who is a local high school teacher here at Greenwood High. I've come to know her as an activist for SC for Ed. She is a speaker for the teachers, speaking on their behalf, championing their cause. As a former high school teacher myself, it is an issue near and dear to my heart, so I cannot wait to hear what she has on her mind and how she's going to educate us. Denise Waldrop, does anybody know who that is? Have you heard of Denise? Denise is back. When we were doing our virtual breakfast meetings last year, she would give us legislative updates. She keeps an eye on what's going on in Columbia. So she is back as the legislative sessions have started. She's going to give us the highs and the lows as to what's being debated in Columbia today. Then we're going to announce our coveted Volunteer of the Month Award. The final speaker will be myself. One or two of you may have heard I did something interesting this month, and I can't wait to share that story and journey with you. And then finally, an open forum for anybody who wishes to speak. Now, all of the speakers will have a chance for some Q&A afterwards. We have portable microphones that we'll be running around with. Because this session is recorded, and we want to make sure that those who were not able to make it today can get the benefit of everything discussed, we ask you to please use the microphone to ask your questions so that it's picked up and everybody can hear it. So those are the ground rules. Any questions so far? All right. So let us begin. Some new information at the table. Every month we like to give you something new. The first thing I want to call to your attention are these cards here in honor of one of our speakers today. This came from SC for Ed. They had a great write-up about a piece of legislation called S935, and this is what we call the Defund Public Education Act. So there's a whole bunch of bullet points as to why it's a bad idea to defund public education and how they're going to be irresponsible with that money. Take a look at this card, bring it home, put it on your refrigerator, or better yet, share it with your neighbors. We also have the donation form if you want to do that. I talked about that already. And also information about our county convention that's coming up 1 month from today. So let's talk about what we've done with some of the money. For the first time ever, we have published and mailed a printed newsletter. Now, I live in the digital world. Man, my phone never leaves my side. I promise you there is a greater chance I walk out of my house in the morning without my pants on than without my phone. All right, my phone is glued to me. I am not the guy who's ever saying, "Where's my phone?" It's here. So I live online, I live on email, I live on social media, so that venue is a great place for me. It's not a great place for everybody. I know some of you don't even have email or even a computer, and that's okay. No shaming here. So we want to reach out to you. This month, we sent out 275 copies of a printed newsletter that catches you up, and it went out to members of our community and our party who are not online and have not been reading our email newsletters. We want to reach out to that group too, let them know they're welcome, let them be informed as to what's going on. Of course, that costs money, but that's where those donations get put to good use. So we're excited about it. We're going to send it out to a different group every time we send it because there's thousands of Democrats in Greenwood County, believe it or not. And we want to make sure we reach out to all of them. Now, if anybody wants to subscribe for $10 a year, that's it, less than $1 a month. For $10 a year, you can get a subscription and be guaranteed a copy every time one goes out. Otherwise, you'll be part of the random miscellaneous. So anything that you can offer to help offset our printing costs, that'd be great. But we're happy to be able to get this form of communication out. All right, Ms. Wanda Moore, are you here? Please wave your hand. She is in the back. Wanda, round of applause to Wanda, by the way. I mean, she is our community care movement director. She puts together an activity every month that has we as Democrats out in the community doing good. We're not just about talking at the podium or sending out emails or newsletters or waving flags or whatever it is. We're also about doing good. We want to walk the talk. And thanks to Wanda's actions, we have been doing that every month since November of 2020. So to continue our streak, January we participated in the City versus County Food Drive. Wanda coordinated collection, and once again, y'all stepped up with hundreds of pounds of goods to go directly to the food bank. So thank you very much, and we look forward to what good things we're going to do here in February. So be on the lookout for that. Doesn't she look happy in this picture? Like when you're doing good, you can't help but be happy. All right, important news. 1 month from today, February 5th, right here at 10 a.m., not 9 a.m., but 10 a.m., we are holding our county convention. There's a lot of information about this convention, so please take a sheet from the back that has it all written up, or if we run out of sheets, it's all available on our website. There's a big old button right at the top that says Convention 2022. Click on that and you'll have that same info. But this is where we elect party leadership. You think I've been doing a terrible job? This is your chance to put your name and run for office, and we welcome it. I'm not going to discourage anybody. I would encourage people to run for office in the local party if you feel like you have something to contribute. All positions are up for election. The list of positions, including the chairs and the executive committee members, is listed. Please feel free to put your hat in the ring, but you must be here to vote and participate. So it's an important event. We will cater it. There will be a chance for an early lunch, so we welcome you to come. It's also a chance for precinct reorganization, a chance to meet people from your local area, get involved, get your name at the precinct level, and make a difference at the very granular street-to-street community area. So I'm excited. It is a thrill to be able to do this. I've already announced that I am running again. The chairs, however, first, second, third, and the chair himself, this will be for 1-year terms. I want to remind you. So we will be up for election, or these positions will be up for election again next year. We feel that it is better to walk into a chair position during an off election year. It is a lot. I went through it in 2020. To be a brand new chair and then deal with a Trump-Biden election cycle, to try to figure out where the bathrooms are at the same time, trying to motivate the troops, it was a lot to do. And we did a very good job of it. But I want to ensure that future leaders have a chance to get settled into the business of being a chair or being a first vice chair, and then have a better chance of being effective during an election year. The other 4 positions, the executive committees, they represent us at the state level. Those individuals still fall into the same cycle as the state, and they will continue to run on even number years. So chairs on odd number years, executive committee people on even number years. So if you want to be an executive committee person, you're good for 2 years, and that position will be up again in 2024. Look, it's a lot. If you tuned out during all of that, I don't blame you. If you understood only half of it, I don't blame you. Please take the information home. We would love to have a great turnout for our convention in 1 month. And then finally, I'm going to talk about elections. This is an election year. We have an immediate election coming up in a couple of months. Again, on the inside of your agenda is a list of all the available elected positions that are up this year, including the party positions, as well as key dates about filing and so on. First up is school board. We talked about this last month. Filing opens up in a couple of weeks. Is the school board important? Well, Ms. Joanna Bishop, raise your hand if you think it's important. Yes, and welcome to Ms. Bishop for being a school board trustee for GW50. It's a good position to get into. We have positions open up in Ware, Shoals, and 96. If you feel passionate about education, this is a chance for you to get involved. Or convince somebody else to get involved. Even if you can't run yourself because you don't live in those districts, if you know somebody who does, put a bug in their ear. I've been making cold calls, trying to get people enthused to run for this local office. It's important to do so. Too many times, they run unopposed. People need a choice. They really do. They don't need to win every time, but they need a choice. So filing opens February 25th, and it's open for 2 weeks, and then the election for school board is in May. And then more importantly, we have our general election in November. A lot of interesting things happening here. First, we have a set of partisan offices like the governor, U.S. Senate, Congress, treasurer of the state, and attorney general. Those statewide positions are all considered partisan. But at the local level, we also have the county council. 3 seats will be up for election in November. 2 House districts, 12 and 13, up for election in November. Probate judge here in Greenwood, up for election in November. Filing for these partisan positions opens in mid-March. So if you are considering it, now is the time to be thinking about it. And we are here as a resource for you. We have a wonderful brochure in the back for those who are thinking about running or know somebody who's thinking about running. Grab one of our brochures back there. It explains what the Greenwood County Democratic Party can do for you, can do to help you out. We can't run your campaign for you, but we can do a lot of things to assist in that campaign. So please take a look and know that March 16th and then for 2 weeks thereafter is the time frame to announce. Then there's a whole slate of quote-unquote nonpartisan elections. So here we're talking about school board and city council and mayor, and not just for Greenwood, but there's also Hodges, Troy, and Ware Shoals. Mayor and city councils are open there. If you want to take a stab at it, and we've known a few people who've done it, they have been very richly rewarded by the service they've been able to do for their community. Filing doesn't open until August 1st. Now, these dates that I gave you are all subject to change. Anybody know why? Redistricting is all messed up. So, it's funny, Representative McCravey went online and said, because the Biden-Harris administration was so slow in getting the census data out, we were forced to delay our processes. Scratch my head on that one. Meanwhile, many other states already have their redistricting done and locked in over a month ago. So why South Carolina couldn't do it is beyond me. But it's subject to change, and it's subject to lawsuits, and it's subject to delay, and there's already talk that filing may be pushed out to June, which is when the primary elections were scheduled. And the primary elections themselves may be pushed out to August. Very strange times we live in. So be on the lookout, be informed, stay in touch, stay tuned, but these are the dates as they sit today. Now, I'm going to get on a soapbox for 5 minutes, and then we'll move on to our first speaker. I'm going to talk about running for office and what does it take. Talking with Senator Nicholson, who's been just a great fountain of wisdom on this subject, I asked him what type of background did he have or studying did he do before he stepped into city council, before he stepped into being a mayor, before he stepped into being a senator. And he said, nothing. You learn on the job, right? You just step in and do it. There's no gifted school for running for office. You've seen some of the people who are in Congress and Senate at the national level today. Do they look like Rhodes Scholars to you? No. Right, so the fact is that any one of us is immeasurably qualified if our hearts and our beliefs are in the right place, if we're willing to put in the work, if we're willing to get to meet the people. This is not something for the shy. This is not something for the timid at heart or the thin-skinned, right? But there's many of us. The fact that you're here today tells me that you're probably not thin-skinned or light of heart or unsure about your beliefs. So I have a couple of beliefs that I think that you would agree with. If you believe in the American dream, that if you work hard and are given a fair shot, that in this country anybody can succeed. And if you believe in the American promise that if you are dealt a blow, whether a medical or a natural disaster, that we, the richest nation in this earth, can pull our resources together and not offer you a hand out, but offer you a helping hand to get you back on your feet and being productive. If you believe that extremist legislators have no business dictating what happens between a qualified, certified physician and their patients, or a qualified and certified teacher and their students, if you support our military and law enforcement and believe they should be compensated commensurate to the risks that they take every day, and given the training and the tools that they need to be successful, and open access to mental and medical health services, supporting social services to deal with the issues that shouldn't be dealt with by a gun, and for fair accountability for those who are in power that abuse it, we're in alignment. If you believe in treating everyone with dignity and respect, regardless of race, country of origin, gender, political leanings, or whoever they decide to love, if you believe in fairness for all, then you've got my full support. Then you've got the full support of the Greenwood County Democratic Party, I dare say, and please entertain the idea of running for office. We've left too many positions unchallenged. I want a choice when I show up to the ballot boxes in November, and I'm sure you do as well. So thank you for